Here we go again, calls to ban yet another commentator from coming here and poisoning the minds of impressionable Australians. This time, new Immigration Minister Tony Burke says he's considering banning American commentator Candace Owens from touring Australia next month, giving speeches. She's also going to New Zealand. Now, Owens is huge on the internet. She's more than 5 million followers on Instagram alone, billed as a fearless conservative. Well, she's not actually conservative, she's a total kook, and Jewish groups want her banned for alleged antisemitism. Now, you may have heard Owens on 2GB this morning with Ben Fordham saying any ban on her would be crazy.
Quite surprised to see that. They're like, don't give her a visa. She's a bad person. But I promise you, it is not going to harm you to hear different ideas.
Well, that sounds reasonable, doesn't it? And Fordham, who I generally respect and like, implied that these accusations that Owens preaches anti-Semitism really just came down to something she once said about Adolf Hitler, which he assured us was taken out of context. In this case, Fordham is badly wrong. Owens is a sick woman, and it shocks me that Australians are paying $95 a head to hear a woman who claims, for instance, that Israel may have been created by a secret sect of child-sacrificing pedophiles just claiming to be Jews. Frankists, she calls them, trying to control the world. All of them classic Jew-hating lies.
Catholics and Christians were going missing on Passover, and then they would find bodies, across Europe, and they were able to trace them back to Jews. Blood libel. They weren't Jews, These were Frankists. Unless the nation of Israel may have been established by some Frankists.
And it's just disgusting. This woman actually also claims, for instance, that Stalin and Lenin were Jews too.
Stalin and Vladimir Lenin were anti-Semitic, and then I learned, wait, Stalin was married to...
Yes, they were literally a part of the Jewish cabal that, and credit
when I talk about crushing history, where if you even say that, which I'm saying it, because I looked into it and I found a friend who understands Georgian, and they're like, everybody knows that Stalin was Jewish. And I'm like, but Americans don't know this.
But Candace, they were the good guys. They helped us defeat Nazi Germany. They were the good guys. They were
As they were mass murdering Christians.
Oh. In fact, neither Lenin nor Stalin were Jews. Stalin actually trained as a priest. But facts mean nothing to Owens. Joining me are Daniel Wild, Deputy Executive Director of the Institute of Public Affairs, and Stephen Chavura, an author and senior lecturer in history at Campion College. Look, Stephen, we've had both Liberal and Labor governments ban too many people for shocking reasons, Milo Yiannopoulos, for instance. And this kind of censorship is very dangerous. But should Candace Owens be the one person we can agree who really should be banned? I don't know.
I don't think so. I have to say, though, Candace Owens has just been one of the big disappointments over the last year. I mean, I was a huge fan of hers when the Black Lives Matter riots were taking place, and she spoke out really persuasively against it all. But the last year, she's just gone completely off the rails. But no, I don't think she's the kind of person who should be banned. I think we need to be very careful about maintaining a very robust free speech regime, because there are so many people with their fingers on a trigger wanting to ban speech. Now, if she was inciting violence, that would be very, very different. But I don't really see her doing that. And so I think in this instance, she should be allowed in. And I'll just say that there is an anti-Semitism issue in Australia, but I don't think it's not the people who follow Candace Owens who are teaching children to chant Intifada at Sydney University. It's not the people following Candace Owens who are saying, where's the Jews, and gas the Jews, and attacking synagogues in Australia. That's not her crew. That's radical leftists and radical Jew-hating pro-Palestinians. And so I would be opposed to banning her from coming in.
Daniel Wild?
I share Stephen's perspective. I mean, those quotes that you put out, Andrew, I completely disagree with. And if Candace does make it to Australia, and I don't think she will, but if she does, I won't be going to her events. But she was really a rising star in the US conservative movement, and over the last 6 to 12 months, something very strange has happened. But I don't think that she should be banned. I understand those who want her banned, but she shouldn't be banned for 2 key reasons. One of them is that censorship just doesn't work. Whether Candace Owens comes to Australia or not will have no bearing on anti-Semitism in Australia. As Stephen rightly identified, it's a homegrown problem that we have in this country, a serious problem that needs to be be dealt with. But Candace Owens is neither here nor there on that issue. And we also know that we've never had more censorship than we do today in the post-war era, and anti-Semitism is at a record high in that era, so censorship doesn't work. And secondly, we can't have politicians and bureaucrats deciding who can and cannot come into this country based on the speech with which they disagree. Let her come to the country and let Australians decide and hear for themselves what she has to say.